What's going on, baseball fans? This is Brandon with MLB's Hot Corner. Welcome to the Sox in 4 podcast. We are presented by Ride the Wave Media, and we're brought to you by 1 in 100. 1 in 100 is the only online raffle website giving fans and experience seekers the chance to win tickets to live sporting events, concerts, music festivals, and more. Whether it be from your desktop or mobile device, winning tickets to your favorite event has never been so easy and fun. Choose your desired event, purchase a raffle ticket, into the drawing, and you can be the lucky winner. We love 1 in 100. Thankful for what they're doing to us, sponsoring us, keeping us alive, keeping us on the air. But welcome to the Sox in 4 podcast. We got a lot going on this week. It's been a while since we were back on, but it's just me again this week. Hopefully we'll get the guys on. Probably our next show will be at the end of the regular season. We'll get all our postseason picks in, digest the hopefully a winning season the Red Sox have. They're right on the bubble right now. Hopefully we can get those a few more wins to secure another winning season, if not anything else, because our magic number is sitting at 2. We're on the brink of elimination. We're right on the edge, and it's looking like the Sox aren't going to do it again. We just see how in baseball it's really, really hard. It's the last team to go back to back. You have to go all the way back to not even the 2000s, or early 2000s, and the Yankees going back to back to back. It's just really hard to do in this game, the way contracts and free agency and the way it's all set up nowadays. It's really, really difficult to go back to back, and you're seeing that again from the Astros last year to the Red Sox this upcoming year. It's just really difficult, even with these teams that are so loaded with talent, and they can't make it back into the big game or back into even the postseason, as you're seeing with the Red Sox, how they even after this era of the 2000s winning baseball in Boston, how you don't have these teams making it even back into the postseason a lot after, except with the exception of the 04 team, how they made it back after winning the World Series against St. Louis, making it back into the postseason. But again, you see after the 13 team, best team in the league, and they even started the year before in 2012, the worst team in baseball almost. They come back, win the World Series for Boston, the emotional one. And then a year later, back to the bottom of the AL East, and you're seeing it again this year. We're not back at the bottom of the AL East, but the Red Sox are continuing to win games, even when they're playing perfect 500 baseball at this rate. They're on track to be 3 games above 500 by the season regular season ending. But a lot of Sox talk going on. I think recently the most embarrassing part of this season was the last long homestand in Boston aside. We got 2 more series. We're currently in the middle of that series against San Francisco, and then the series finale, season series finale against Baltimore, which should be a bright side. But the 7-game homestand, it was against the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees, and the Red Sox are looking to regain a hold in the wild card standings, and they started 6.5 games back before that series even started, and just lose the first game of the Minnesota series. It's not the way you want to see things go, especially after that emotional hype video we had on the Hot Corner. But losing the first game of the series, you never want to see it. You never want to see it, especially when you're at home, and every game is important. Every game is it just feels like it is much more important, but even going back throughout the season, every game has the same amount of value. Every game counts towards the same standings that we're looking at today. And like the losses back in May and April, they're coming back to bite us. Those 1-run games, the games that the bullpen blew it, the like double-digit numbers of the games that the bullpen has blown. That's all coming to fruition now, and it's not looking good. Especially someone had to take the fall for it. Most recent fall guy, Dave Dombrowski, out in Boston. But back to that series back to the homestand against Minnesota. The Sox, they lost the first game by 1 run. They had the comeback in. That was the game. Don't remember left fielder's name. Guns down. Rafael Devers at the plate. You need 1 run to score. It was bold decision to send him, but in the end, wall ball from J.D. Martinez got knocked down off the wall, off the green monster, Fenway single, pushed it into a Fenway double because the guy was going home, and Rafael Devers was gunned down at the plate. Very emotional loss, one that really felt like the turning point, not the turning point like downwards, like a lot of fans have already given up hope at that point, but looking at it as Devers was sitting in the dugout afterwards, like, this is the point where the Red Sox, like, yeah, it's not going to happen again. Like, you're looking at the season where they're at. Like, they can't win these games where last year it seems like everything is going their way and that run's going to score. And last year that we feel like that run, that bullet from left field probably sailing 3 feet above the catcher's head or something like that. That's the magic, just the way the Sox season last year was going. And now everything, it feels like the world's against us. The magic isn't there anymore, except the magic elimination numbers. And watching the magic numbers from everybody else now. It's going to be a weird October. We're going to be on the outside looking in for the first time in just over 3 years. So Rafael Devers sitting in the dugout after that, like, emotional loss. You're the winning run, and it's like it's not even close. It's not a close play. They didn't need replay to look at it. Devers is definitely out at home. Got, like, just amazing throw and just thrown out at the plate. They did come back, though, and win the next game 6-2 before dropping the final game against the Minnesota Twins 1-2. Those close games, it's what we've been talking about, how the Sox didn't have a closer. They really, like we talk about the winning that they did last year. They get the runs up, they get the runs on the board, they help out their starting pitching, they get these guys the wins, pass it off to the bullpen. Shaky for the season last year, and then you bring in, like, the closers. You bring in Joe Kelly in the 8th, the setup man. You bring Craig Kimbrell in the 9th. Lock it down. That's a win. Like, as soon as the Red Sox got to the 8th inning, it felt like it was already a win. And now, if we're winning by 5 runs, and the Red Sox are bringing in Matt Barnes, Ryan Brazier, Brandon Workman, it doesn't feel like a win anymore. It feels like that game is still, like, it feels like it's a tie game or a one-run game when these guys are coming in to lock down a save or something. Just how inconsistent Barnes and Brazier have been. Workman's been a really, really positive bright spot in the Red Sox rotation, bringing him into close games. And got he's in double-digit save numbers now, and really a bright spot for the Red Sox rotation going forward. But those one-run games, that's going to come back to bite them. The offense, best offense in the league. We'll argue it all day. Best offense in baseball. And the pitching was the reason why the Red Sox aren't playing another month this year. Seeing the games that they've blown, the injury bug that hit the Red Sox this year with Chris Sale going down, David Price going down, Nate Eovaldi was out for half the season. It's just really tough looking at it, tough sledding. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But losing the series to Minnesota was not good for the Red Sox. Not good for the Red Sox wild card hopes, especially being so far out of it. They were on the bubble for a little while, and until that series, this homestand really just knocked the Red Sox out of contention for the AL. To the eye test. It would take a miracle and a half for the Red Sox to make wild card right now. The next series was against the rival New York Yankees as they visited Fenway for the last time this season, and the last matchup between the two for the rest of the year. No playoffs, no postseason matchups, no dramatic. The rivalry's back. But Yankees definitely got the best this year out of it. The Red Sox won the first game of the series 6-1 against the New York Yankees. Really, really positive sign. Like we knew at this point the Yankees were going to win the AL East. They had a 10, 15, 20 game lead on it already before they even visited Fenway. And it kind of felt like the end of last season when we had this same exact 4-game series against the Yankees, that it was for the Yankees to get. The Yankees were fighting for their playoff lives, trying to get back into contention for the AL East. They were going to make wild card. They're still a 100-win team, but they're fighting for the wild card position, or not wild card position, fighting for AL East position. And they were 7 games behind the Sox last year in this 4-game series when they visited. And the Yankees came to town, and the Red Sox swept them out of the building and really secured their spot as the AL East champions for the 2018 season. Different story. 2019 rolls in. Sox win the first game of the series. It kind of feels like we got some hope again. We got something to fight for. We're getting back into the AL wildcard position. And the Yankees they're gonna try to stop us with their half AAA lineup, but they're still they still got the job done. They came back. They lost the first game of the series in Boston, came back and won the next three, and they weren't even close. These were all 5-run games. The first one, the one that the Sox did win on Friday night, was 6-1. Following night, Red Sox lose 1-5 to the Yankees. Following night, Red Sox lose 5-10 to the Yankees, and then the shutout on Monday for the series finale. Red Sox lost 0-5 to the Yankees and really lost their positioning for the AL wild card and really fell out of contention for that playoff berth this year. And it didn't get prettier after that road trip to Toronto. Lost the first game of the series, lost the second game of the series, got shut out the second game of the series 0-8 in Toronto. And Toronto's the Hall of Fame kids, they're popping off on us, but then the Red Sox, they still refuse to get swept. The Red Sox have a very good tendency this year where if they're playing a 3-game series, money's on the line. They are not getting swept. I think one of the only sweeps to recent memory was the London series against the Yankees, but the Red Sox, they'll win the first game, they'll win the middle game, or they'll win the last game. It's just that simple. They won't win all 3. They won't win most of the time. They won't even win 2, but they're going to find a way not to get swept. And that case came back here in Toronto last week this time. Winning that last game in Toronto was a moral boost, good plane ride back. Not to Boston, but actually to Philadelphia, where the Red Sox took on the Philadelphia Phillies for the second time this season, this time in Philly at a Citizens Bank ballpark, I think it is, down there in Philly. And the Red Sox visited new $1 million man, Bryce Harper, and the Red Sox popped off against Aaron Nola. Not popped off. Red Sox got the best of Aaron Nola in really, really fantastic pitcher's duel between Aaron Nola and Eduardo Rodriguez. Erod, I think they left him in a little too long. Ask Alex Cora. We got a piece about that on ridethewavemedia.com. Just find the series recap for the Philadelphia series over the weekend. Man, what was it? Erod. Alex Cora left Erod in for a bases-loaded situation. That's the one I can remember. He left him in for a bases-loaded situation. Erod's never recorded a hit in his career. I think combined 0 for 20 now. And he was going to keep pitching the game. He's pitching a gem into the 6th inning. And Cora leaves him in for a bases-loaded situation to see, who knows? If he gets his first hit here, he'd win the ball game. He was in line for his 18th win of the season there if he was able to get on base, draw a walk. Literally anything an American League pitcher can do to get on base in a National League ballpark game. Ends up striking out, leaving the bases loaded, and with the Red Sox having a 1-0 lead and bring them to the bottom of the inning, and the Phillies tie it up, of course. And Erod's no longer in line to get the win and sticks at 17 wins in the season. Definitely one of the bright spots this season, Eduardo Rodriguez, what he's done for this team, being the rock, being the ace this season. Especially when Chris Sale's been out and David Price has been out. Erod's been the steady guy, steady Eddie. 17 wins on the season. Not the best ERA in the world, but he's getting run support. The Red Sox offense is helping him get these W's and help him boost these stats. Get him into he's my Cy Young, not the league Cy Young. They won't even talk about him on the networks after the next week or so. But steady Eddie, definitely the rock of this lineup the last week, not even week, the whole season, especially with this last man standing mentality where we really got 3 starters left in Rick Porcello, still healthy, durable guy, and Nate Eovaldi coming back from his loose bodies at the beginning of the season, and then steady Eddie being the rock of this lineup to start the season. Let's see where we at. We're in the San Francisco series right now. Red Sox lost the first game 6-7. They were down 4 runs. Decided to make a little comeback. Tied it up 4-4. Tied it up 4-4. We're losing 5-4. Ended up tying it up and sending it to extras. The game ended up going 15 innings well into the night, and the Red Sox did all this work just to come back and lose it in the 15th inning by 1 run on a sacrifice fly. You hate to see it. Um, the loss yesterday. So that game was yesterday. Today is the loss to San Francisco, the blowout loss. Really special moment before the game. Carl Yastrzemski, Red Sox legend, number 8, retired number, threw out the first pitch to his grandson, Mike Yastrzemski, who's the kid who's made his rookie debut this year and has really blown up on the scene for being in Yaz's bloodline, and has taken the league not by storm, but has been a great role player for this San Francisco Giants team. It's not going to finish they're going to finish in 4th or 5th place in the NL West this year. Just rebuilding, trying to retool. Bruce Bochy's on his way out. Recorded his 2000th win, I think, of the season today against the Red Sox. But other big news out of this game, Rafael Devers hit his 30th home run of the season. Looking at it, this is just like any regular day. This is, if you're not looking crazy into the numbers, this is just regular. Oh, cool. Got a milestone for the season. Like, another bright spot. Young kid, 22-year-old, got 30 home runs this year. It's a bright spot for the Red Sox season. It's bright for the future going forward. But looking at it, you take a step back. You look at what this hot corner in the Red Sox defense has done. And Xander Bogaerts and Rafael Devers. I talked about it last time on the last show, how they're in line. They're expected to reach these career miles where they are the 12th and 13th players in Major League history to record 30 home runs and 50 doubles in one season, and they're the first teammates in Major League history to ever do it while they are on the same team. And you look back at some of these crazy duos in baseball over the years. You look at Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris and even Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig, how these guys are just mashers and they're on the same team, but they never recorded this feat. It really goes to show these guys are still playing fundamental baseball. They're not swinging for the fences every time. They're not trying to hit 50 home runs in a season. Obviously they'll take that, but the strikeout numbers would be up. But just the way they're seeing, they're making contact with the ball. Fenway's being nice to them with some wall balls, triangle balls, ground rule balls in right field. But what these guys have been able to do, even more duos, like Derek Jeter, A-Rod was one of the guys to complete this feat a few years ago, recording 30 home runs and 50 doubles in one season. But none of his teammates could do that in the same season either. So it's really special what these guys were able to do this season, and it's really good looking at that extension Bogaerts signed right before the season started, and having Rafael Devers being not even close to his prime yet, and these are the numbers that he's putting up, is really special for the Red Sox going forward, especially if they're going to lose guys like Mookie Betts or JBJ or Brock Holt or even JD Martinez in the coming off seasons. Having these guys locked down on the left infield is really, really important, especially offensively, defensively. Bogaerts, I'll say it, he's the best shortstop in the game, best shortstop in the American League. You can have your Lindors. I'll take Bogaerts any day of the week. This guy is really special. He's putting up numbers. He's putting up MVP numbers, especially with Mike Trout being out for the remainder of the season. If these guys keep mashing, they will be in the conversation. Xander Bogaerts and Rafael Devers are the future of the Red Sox, especially if Mookie and JD leave. If one of them leaves or if one of them stays, those guys they're very special. They're talent. Bogaerts, age 26, entering his prime. He's been with the Red Sox for 10 years now, which is crazy. Signed the deal out of Aruba when he was 16 years old and won the World Series with them as a September call-up in the 2013 season, and anchored that and was a big part of that 2013 team as a rookie call-up. Just seeing what he's been able to do as a leader on this team. I'd make him a captain. I would put him as a captain. This guy is special. He's a great leader. He's a great hitter. He's a great defensive shortstop. He's bound to win a Gold Glove, especially with Devers learning the defense. We've known he can hit since he was called up and hit that 103-mile-per-hour fastball off Aroldis Chapman and took it yard in Yankee Stadium when he was a rookie. That's when we knew that this guy was special. All the guys in the media, they'll tell us he was special before and they knew he was special. That's the moment I think everyone in the league found out that this kid had something that no one else did. Just eyeing that ball, fastest home run to ever ever be fastest pitch to ever be recorded as a home run, and he's on the Red Sox. That guy is on our team. He's in Boston for a long time. I think he's got arbitration coming up. He's gonna get paid. Arbitration's always a weird thing, telling guys what they're worth and what they're not worth. Can just kind of make relationships with them great or make them not so great. It's like looking at the Mookie Betts situation, how he had arbitration the season ago, and just like basically being in like a court situation and demanding a certain amount of money for these statistical numbers that he's putting up, versus the thing he isn't putting up, and going back and forth and trying to figure out what this guy's worth and what he should be paid based on market value. And I think that's why Mookie Betts really wants to test free agency to this upcoming season, and brings us into the next topic about what the Red Sox are going to do. They fired Dombrowski. He's out of there. He's not making the business calls anymore. Dealing Dave's gone, but the upcoming decision for either Mookie Betts or JD Martinez to stay in Boston. The Red Sox have said, Dombrowski have said before, management said that they're going to do everything they can to get this team below the luxury tax. We're paying $23 million in luxury tax fees this year, and that's not what you want to see. I think $1 million more than what JD Martinez is even making this year. But you look at Mookie Betts and you look at JD Martinez, and it's a would you rather. Which one of these guys would you rather have on your team? But even before that, it starts with Mookie's hitting free agency, so he has a choice for himself. And then JD Martinez, the ball's really in his court right now because he has the ability to opt out of his contract. If he is to opt in, it really puts the Red Sox in a really tough situation if they want to keep Mookie Betts, because they won't be able to pay him the amount that he wants and he deserves. Like, this is a $300 million player that we have on our roster, but what is he going to take if he wants to stay in Boston? He wants to test free agency, but I don't know if JD Martinez is even going to let him stay in Boston, because if JD opts into that contract, door might be shut for Mookie Betts in Boston. So JD Martinez, let's look at the numbers here real quick. I got some sticky notes with me. I got the sabermetrics, the hot stats for JD Martinez versus Mookie Betts. I think in an ideal world, well, really it is ideal, because JD Martinez has the power here. He has the ability to say yes or no to the contract in Boston. What's important about this is the statistics he's putting up this year are like career numbers for him. What he did last year, he's matching some of those numbers he had last year. So this season, JD Martinez he's 31 years old versus Mookie Betts being 26 years old. So you're going to have a guy longer. You're going to have a guy in Mookie Betts who's playing defense a lot more. You're going to have a guy in JD Martinez who's playing the designated hitter position a lot more. And not a gifted outfielder, but he can get the job done. Definitely had a few errors on the season. Playing the outfield, especially in the National League Interleague Series where we're traveling, and you really can't rely on JBJ having that bat in the lineup if you want all three bats and Benintendi, Betts, and Martinez in the lineup. But looking at the two guys, Mookie Betts is going to have a much more fruitful career from now on, considering that he is 5 years younger than JD. You look at the amount of runs that Mookie scored versus JD's. Mookie gets on base more. He's a leadoff guy. He took a few games off from the leadoff spot at the beginning of the season. Cora saying Benny was going to start. But you look at Mookie's 131 runs scored. It leads the majors still to this day, even though he hasn't played a game this week. But you go over to JD, 93 runs. He's not on base more. He's in the heart of the lineup. He's not going to be on base as much. Mookie's drawing a career high in walks. So those numbers definitely speak for themselves, with Mookie being able to get on base more, especially with his stolen base opportunities. Mookie's much faster than JD. If you look at JD versus Mookie, it's not even a competition. Mookie's going to beat him in a 40-yard dash every time. JD Martinez has 1 stolen base this season compared to Mookie Betts' 15. So there's not a competition there. You see where Mookie Betts is being able to get into scoring position from first, going from second to third, just being ready to go on a pass ball, wild pitches. That's why he's getting driven in more. He's in scoring position more than he's isn't really. Mookie Betts is much faster than JD. But then you look at the bats. Mookie Betts 40 doubles this season compared to 33 doubles from JD Martinez. This might be from Mookie's more like contact approach versus JD's swing for the fences, get that OPS up, or slugging percentage up. But then, and you look down, so same similar numbers. Like all these numbers are within 10 of each other. These guys are both silver sluggers, and they're both great at hitting. When they step into the box, they're going to do some damage to you. Mookie Betts has 28 home runs this season, and JD Martinez has 35. Little less than last year as he was in the race or in contention for the Triple Crown last year. So the home run numbers are definitely down. And to runs batted in, Mookie Betts has 78 and JD has 97. Mookie Betts, some of them can be explained because he is the leadoff man. He's the guy. There's not a lot of people on base when he's on. It'll normally be later in the game when he gets the RBI opportunities compared to JD. Having Devers, having Xander Bogaerts hit before him, and having those guys get on base 3 times out of 10. And then batting average this year, Mookie has a 293, and JD has a 301 batting average. So take these numbers as you will. My take on it, I want JD Martinez to opt out so the Red Sox have more freedom in the numbers they can give to these guys. If JD opts in, their hands are really tied on the opportunities they're going to have to talk to these guys. If JD says yes, Mookie Betts really doesn't have, let's see. If JD Martinez says yes and opts into the Red Sox contract, the Red Sox hands are tied. They can't offer Mookie Betts the record contract he's probably going to get in $300 million. And JD is going to be a Red Sox for the foreseeable future. And Mookie will likely walk in free agency because the Red Sox won't be able to offer that number if they want to stay below the luxury tax. And that'll be the end of the Mookie era in Boston, which will be a really sad day for a lot of people. Especially me. I'm a big Mookie guy. Got the jersey hanging up in the closet. I think you have to do everything you can to keep Mookie on this team. I hope JD opts out. I don't say that in a negative way. It's just if JD opts out, the Red Sox have more freedom. He's had a career year this year. He's putting up great numbers, similar numbers to the ones he put up in Arizona before he came and signed in Boston. So he's going to get offered great contracts elsewhere, especially as a DH. There's not a lot of places that will have him right now, but you look at places like the White Sox, guys that need veteran hitters, guys that they can lean on and trust in the heart of a lineup, especially for a developing team that looks to be contending in the next few years. Somewhere you can count the National League out because I don't think you want JD playing in the field, but you definitely want him at that designated hitter position, and you're only going to find that in the AL. But you look at Mookie Betts and what he can bring to the Red Sox table. If you're paying this guy, he's going to be amazing when he steps into the box. He's going to be amazing when he steps into the right field. He's locked down that area. He's won 3 consecutive, something like that, Gold Gloves out there, and Silver Sluggers, American League MVP, won a World Series with us. There's not a lot more you can ask for from a player. Mookie Betts has it all, and that's why I want to keep this guy in Boston for the years to come. Let JD walk. It's gonna be a hard decision when that day comes, and when the offseason finally hits. But you got to choose between one of these guys. It's a really hard decision, but I would really hope the Red Sox decide to keep Mookie Betts around for whatever the asking price is. Whew. We got a lot going on, man. Oh, talk about records. Red Sox did tie a record in that 15-inning game versus San Francisco. They used combined, the Giants and the Red Sox used 24 pitchers to finish that game in 15 innings. Really crazy stuff. We didn't have many questions this week. We didn't have any questions this week. You guys got to step it up. We'll get the guys back in, get some real questions. Some of the debates we had on the Instagram poll and in the comment sections about if you could keep Mookie or JD. I think 70% of you guys voted to keep Mookie Betts and agreed with me to keep Mookie Betts on this team, pay him whatever he wants. And really, it's hard because JD has been such a great player in Boston so far. What he's done, filling Big Poppy's shadows when he left. But you guys said majority of you voted Mookie and agreed with me. I would say you guys are correct. I hope that's how it plays out this offseason. And then the second debate we had, I think we had it today or yesterday, about if one of these players could return 100% healthy to a Red Sox lineup, who would you have? And the options were David Ortiz or Dustin Pedroia. And wasn't even close. I think 90% voted David Ortiz to the lineup, even though he hasn't even played he put on a Red Sox uniform in ages. I voted Dustin Pedroia for the simple fact he's still actually on the Red Sox roster, not active roster, on the IL still. But that he has the opportunity to, he's the guy you want him on the team. He's the locker room guy. He's a guy that could produce. He's a guy that can make amazing defensive plays at second base. If you have him in your lineup to this Red Sox team instead of like the intertwining of like the rookie Michael Chavis or Marco Hernandez or even Brock Holt, just the rotating carousel that was at second base for so long this season, if you have Dustin Pedroia there at second base manning that position, you know you're going to get production there. You're going to get amazing defensive plays there. You're going to get a high baseball IQ. You're going to get a guy that's going to go give his 100% on every single play of the game, every single pitch of the game. He is ready. He had his signature hop at the beginning of the season. We just only hope the best for Dustin Pedroia and what he's going to do for the Red Sox coming up. Remember back in when he met up with the team on a crutch in Colorado when he was coaching Rafael Devers out of a slump in the dugout. And like immediately in Rafi's next at-bat, ropes a freaking triple because of Dustin Pedroia's coaching. So if Dustin doesn't have, if he never ends up coming back healthy, we hope that he sticks around, like Euclid or Wakefield, one of these guys, and they sticks around the team, or even Pedro, and just sticks around the team, stays in like as a locker room guy, maybe even bring him in as a bench coach for the Red Sox. Let him coach up these young guys. We got a lot of young guys coming in, especially Chavis. Coaching worked on Devers, seen it before, and just keep him around because he's a presence that once he's gone, it's going to be a shadow, it's going to be a void to fill that is very similar to what David Ortiz left when he retired 3 years ago now. There's going to be a void there. Dustin Pedroia, he hasn't been there this season. He hasn't been there a lot last season. It's really disappointing. It's really sad. We only hope for the best for Petey to come back. But even if we just hope these guys get healthy, man. Poppy was dealing with health issues after getting shot in the Dominican a few months ago. Happy to say he's back to 100% health throughout the first pitch in Boston this weekend, or last week during the homestand, and we just hope that he's back to health, and really happy, really good stuff for him. But if you were to add him to the lineup and it's kept Mookie Betts on the team, you got these two guys that they're like father and son every time they were together before Poppy retired. Poppy's just a presence that like I was talking about earlier. His presence, his lack of presence was felt when he left Boston. That void was there, and it wasn't filled for 2 years until JD Martinez steps into the scene and really adds that power bat to the middle of the lineup. The guy that you can rely on for a high batting average, swinging for the fences and scoring the runs, especially the runs that matter, especially when it came to October. He was the guy that delivered on those promises, and it was worth it. $20 million basically a year, and JD Martinez was worth every penny. Poppy was worth every penny. Greatest clutch performer in baseball history. What's other some fun news around the league? Biggio hit for the cycle in Toronto. Really special. I think all I have to say about that is his dad did it once. It's really cool to see that his son did it once so early in his career, in his rookie season. If he gets it again, he'd be able to have a bragging right against dad. It'd be a funny Thanksgiving conversation or turkey bowl, that kind of thing. Fun conversations, family conversations around the table about career accomplishments, and you see that again with these Hall of Fame fathers, grandfathers, and their rookie call-up sons that are starting to take the league by storm. Like you see, name off the top of my head, you got Biggio, you got Yastrzemski, you got Guerrero in Toronto too. Bichette in Toronto as well. Toronto's got all the young guys. Speaking of Yastrzemski, special moment, Yaz threw out the first pitch at today's game in Boston. He threw it out to his son. I think I already covered it, but it was a really special moment. And then rounding out the Red Sox news, David Price, he's out for the remainder of the season. I mean, the season's only got about a week and a half left. Red Sox got, let me do the math in my head, 13 games left, 11 games left. And one of them is against the San Francisco Giants tomorrow. Finished a 3-game series in Boston before ending that homestand and going down to Tampa and then to Texas and then back to Fenway to finish the season against Baltimore. But David Price is out for the remainder of the season with a cyst in his wrist. Ooh, that's a bar. Cyst in his wrist. So he is out. The team announced today that he's out for the remainder of the season. Debating on whether or not to get surgery on it or just to let it heal with rest. But likely the option is for David Price to get a surgery this offseason, rest it up, and hope to be back and better for next season as the number 2 starter behind a healthy Chris Sale. Let's see. There are reports. This one's not super confirmed yet. Mookie Betts has been out for all week with an ankle injury, with some inflammation down there. The Red Sox, some of the sources, sources getting them off Twitter, just reading. Various sources say that he will not play another game in this season with that ankle injury. They don't want to push him too hard, especially if the games don't mean anything coming all the way back to health and just to play another game and have it get inflamed for the offseason. You want to start the offseason healthy. Get your work in, get ready, get better for next year. And if Mookie Betts gets better next year, the league better be on notice if we're able to retain him. So the Red Sox elimination number from postseason contention is standing currently at 2 games. So if the Red Sox lose 2 more, in I think Cleveland Indians is a team right above us in the wild card standings, and are only a half game out, are to win a game or we're to lose a game. That'll drop down 1, and then the Red Sox season is officially over, at least postseason-wise, until the Baltimore series. So the Red Sox do go down to Tampa in a series that we're talking about was hopefully supposed to be big for wild card contention. Hopefully could knock Tampa out of the wild card standings. But Tampa now, we got the chance to play spoiler. If we beat Tampa 2, maybe 3 times, they will fall in the standings, and it'll be the Oakland Athletics in the first wild card spot and the Cleveland Indians in the second wild card spot. So we have a chance to play spoiler to those guys. Hopefully we can. I'm all for it. If we're able to knock a team out of contention, like, I'm there for it. Like, this Tampa Bay Rays team, they won 90 games last year too and didn't make the postseason. They're going to do it again this year, and maybe make postseason unless the Red Sox have something to say about it down the stretch. And then, so that series in Texas should be all right for the Red Sox. 2 teams. I think Rangers are right below the Red Sox, 2 in AL wildcard standings. They were eliminated last week from that contention. They were creeping up on us a little bit there, but both teams will most likely be eliminated with all due respect in the coming days. And when we go down to Texas, that'll be the last game played at the Rangers' current stadium, the open ceiling stadium that they got down there in Arlington, and they're moving right across the road to their brand new stadium that they'll be playing in next season, which will be really, really cool because we'll have a new ballpark to visit, new MLB food to try, new signature dishes. We'll probably have to get down there to Texas next season, figure out what their delectable, delicious eats are. And then the Red Sox come home finally for a 3-game series against Baltimore as like the salute to the fans. They'll have that like fan appreciation night the last day of the season to round out the season. What will likely be a very forgettable season or hopefully forgettable season in Red Sox history following a World Series win, until we look forward to the offseason and what the next president and what next GM are able to do for this team, and what the options are regarding JD Martinez and Mookie Betts. Oh man, covers a lot of baseball news. So I'm going to do my lock of the week right now. So I'm telling you, the viewers, the Red Sox lost. Hopefully this is out in time so you guys can get those bets in. Because this is the game against San Francisco tomorrow is at 10 a.m. in the morning, or 1 p.m., 10 a.m. where I'm at on the West Coast right now. It's got a 1 p.m. start. Hopefully this is out by then. The Red Sox are going to win tomorrow. That's simple money line. Take the money line. The Red Sox haven't lost, or I won't make any guarantees on that one. But I guarantee the Red Sox will win tomorrow versus San Francisco Giants. The Red Sox, like I was talking about earlier, about half hour ago, the Red Sox refuse to get swept. They're in the middle of this 3-game interleague series. They're on their home turf. They're at Fenway. They got pride to fight for. We got a losing record at Fenway right now. We got to fight back, try to get that record up as best we can. Hopefully sweep Baltimore at the end of the season and finish around 500 or a game above at Fenway this year. So I guarantee the Red Sox will win against the San Francisco Giants in the Game 3 of this set before heading to Tampa Bay. Once again, my name is Brandon. This is Sox and 4 podcast. Sox elimination numbers at 2. They're going to be eliminated next time we talk. Hopefully we got some of the guys with us next time. So my name's Brandon, MLB Hot Corner. This is Sox and 4 podcast. We're brought to you by 1 in 100 and presented by Ride the Wave Media. Have a great week, guys.